So this is kind of my latest video about my never-ending search for a foolproof motovlogging setup. And I say foolproof because the thing that stops me making films is not I don't know, the sophistication of the cameras or the post-production workflow or whatever. It's usually me just forgetting things or forgetting to switch things on or off or whatever. So yeah, so my quest is to have the simplest setup as possible. And I guess as part of that journey, I've made a kind of decision really to switch from the Insta360 ecosystem to basically just using DJI cameras. And the reason for that is, I mean, basically I started out with the X3 a few years ago, and I had the Insta360 X3 for, I don't know, 3 or 4 years, like quite a long time, and it's a 360-degree camera, but I used it as my principal camera for quite a while. I think it's a great camera, but one of the things that I found quite onerous was the reframing post-production that's necessary with 360-degree. So I decided to supplement it with a standard action camera as well. So it made sense to stay in the same ecosystem. So I bought the AcePro, the standard action camera, but I never really got on with it because what I found with the AcePro, I thought it was quite bulky, and I wanted it to go on my helmet, so it felt quite large and quite cumbersome. I think the other thing was, it's useful to have the LEDs on with a chin-mounted camera, so you can see what it's doing. But the problem with the AcePro I found was you've either got the LEDs on or they're off completely. And so to have them on, there's a really big LED on the front of the camera, which used to kind of really annoy me. So it's a simple thing, but it was just massive, just flashing all the time. So I didn't really like that. So these may be trivial reasons to to be critical of a camera, but anyway, there you go. So I didn't really like it. I guess the other thing was different batteries, different mounts, etc. between the X3 and the AcePro. So that's sort of complicated matters. And one of the things that really cheesed me off, which probably was the nail in the coffin really, was when they brought out the Mic Air, the little mic, which would have been perfect for going in the helmet, but then to discover that it wouldn't work directly with the AcePro or with the X3, which just seemed a bit cynical to me. It just seemed like this was Insta360 just trying to force you into an upgrade. So that didn't make me feel very happy. So basically what I decided to do was to try out the DJI ecosystem. So I got an OA4 when they were going cheap, just when the OA5 and obviously got the OA6 now, but the OA5s came out, and then you could get a 4 really cheaply. So I decided to try one out. Really liked it, really liked the camera. It seems smaller and less cumbersome. I'm sure there's probably not that much in it, but it does seem a bit more like a conventional action camera. So I really liked it. And then when DJI brought out the Osmo 360, I thought, yeah, let's take the plunge. I'll get another OA4 and the Osmo 360. So that's the setup that I'm using, and what I like most about it is, one is the interchangeability issue. So same batteries in all the cameras, same mounts for all the cameras. That works really well. I've got a don't know if you can see it down here, but a DJI GPS remote, and that operates all 3 cameras. So I'm shooting with 3 cameras now, and all controlled by the little remote controller, which I think is really neat. And then of course the other thing that I really appreciate is the Mic Mini. So that works seamlessly with all 3 cameras, which is great. Oddly enough, I've got it connected to the camera on my handlebars at the moment. It's in my back pocket, recording kind of exhaust and engine noise. And actually the one on my chin is just hardwired, old school style. Yeah, the Mic Mini is a real bonus, and the fact that it just works seamlessly without a receiver on all of the cameras is terrific, really. So yeah, I've made the switch, and you know, we'll see how it goes. I mean, I think just to be fair to Insta360 for a minute though, because what I'm not doing, I'm not comparing the quality of the cameras, because to be frank, all of these cameras are really good, and certainly the ones that I've used. And you know, there might be marginal gains to be had by choosing one over the other, but they are at the margin, I think. You know, pretty much the cameras, you know, from Insta or DJI seem to do a pretty good job. But what I think, in fairness to Insta360 though, I think their post-production environment is better. So I think their app, mobile app, is better, and I think the desktop software is better. I'm kind of hoping DJI will improve, and it'll get better over time. But to be honest, quite a lot of the sophistication in the Insta360 app, the AI and all of that, is not really important to me. So you know, that doesn't feel like a great loss, to be honest. To be frank though, I don't do a lot of post-production work in the apps anyway. What I tend to do is I'll reframe the 360-degree footage, but the standard footage from the action cameras just goes straight into, you know, different editing software, and once I've reframed the 360 stuff, that goes to the same place. So you know, I'm not really expecting a lot from the you know, either the Insta or DJI apps or their desktop software, to be honest. Just one tip though, with the DJI software on my PC, which is a Windows Microsoft PCT, I found it really quite poor actually. But one of the things I discovered was that the graphics card, the NVIDIA card on my laptop, which was pretty good one, but it was fine-tuned really for gaming. So if you go onto the NVIDIA website, you can download an alternative version of that graphics card, which is particularly tweaked for, it's called Studio. It's particularly for content creators. So if you're struggling with your PC, then have a look at the NVIDIA website, because you might be able to you know, improve the experience by changing the graphics card, which I've done, and it is much better, but not as crisp as the Insta360 setup. So I mean, that's a significant drawback, I think, but I think it'll get better. The only other thing that I've seen said quite a bit is about the Osmo 360 not having user replaceable lenses. Yeah, I guess that is a negative compared to the X5, but to be honest, I had an X3 which didn't have user replaceable lenses for years, mounted in all sorts of different places on the bike, and never scratched the lenses, never broke anything. I mean, you can get lens guards. I mean, I used to have lens guards on my X3, but took them off after a while. So you know, clearly accidents do happen. So you know, I'm not saying that it would never happen to the Osmo 360, but I think probably more is being made of it than actually is a problem in kind of the real world. Anyway, so that's my rationale for switching between Insta360 and DJI. I thought that was interesting. We'll see how I get on with the films that I make, see whether I'm any better at it as a result of having a more integrated and simplified system, but we'll see. Anyway, hope that was helpful, and I'll see you next time.